all of you. So many wonderful faces. So James spared you this, but I just want to talk a little bit about what the opinion says, because it is an appalling decision. It is an appalling decision, and it tells us who this current court is and what they're going to do in the future. They say that the only constitutional rights that are protected are rights that are explicitly stated in the text of the Constitution, rights that the framers back in the day intended. Okay, we're talking about slave holders and, all propertied white male men. They weren't thinking about abortions, right? Or rights that have a long-standing protection in our history and traditions, right? And what Alito does is he has 30 pages. So I read, being a nerdy Yale person, I read all 98 pages of that draft opinion, and the last 30 pages are a list of states that have banned abortion, their laws spelled out. And I can guarantee you that you can find lists like that on a lot of things that you take for granted today, like contraception, right? Banned in many states across the country. That's their next target, is contraception. But other things, lots of the rights that we take for granted. I mean, the court has 2 affirmative action cases before they are going to deep six affirmative action and many other of our rights. The complete disregard for precedent in the decision. Now, this is not the final decision. It's leaked. It was from last February. I'm sure they're going to moderate it, maybe, to some degree. But it is an extreme decision that basically makes the Constitution irrelevant for many of the rights that we count on, like what James said. What the privacy cases did, from Griswold, which said that states can't ban contraception, Eisenstadt that said single people can have access to contraception, Roe, and Lawrence about same-sex relationships. All of those are based on the right to privacy, right? And Alito says that's not explicitly in there, so that's not protected. Those decisions pulled the cops out of our bedrooms, pulled the politicians from rifling through our underwear drawers, and that's going away. And we know there are 26 states that are certain or likely to ban abortion, not all at fertilization, but some at fertilization. There's nothing in the opinion about rape or incest or any sort of exceptions or conditions in which people should have access. Alito uses the term unborn child repeatedly throughout the decision. And my theory about why he's doing that is this is part 1. Part 2 is when somebody challenges Connecticut's abortion protective laws as violating the rights of that unborn child, and that goes up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says that unborn children have equal rights to women, and the unborn children will die, therefore women aren't allowed to have abortion in any of the 50 states. And right after the Alito opinion came down, the anti-abortion movement said their next priority is to introduce legislation in Congress. And this is why voting is so important. For the next 2 years, Alito, if in the fall election the Republicans take back the House and the Senate, God forbid, then they could pass something like this, and you can be sure they'll get rid of the filibuster in an instant, unlike the Dems, right? And then, Biden will veto it. But 2024, they could have a trifecta, and we could lose abortion rights throughout the country. And so people are thinking that there are going to be 5 people on this decision, right? 3 of them are Yaleys. Alito, Thomas, and Kavanaugh. Yes, 3 of them are Yale. What the hell are we doing here? How are we producing people that think that they can take our rights away like this? Long-standing constitutional rights. I mean, I went to college with Kavanaugh. I knew him. And the idea that he is prepared to take my rights away and the rights of our daughters and our sons and other people is appalling to me. And, we need to hold him accountable. And I also just want to say one thing right now. 1 in 5 college female students experience sexual assault while they're in college, right? And pregnancies result from that. And, here is Kavanaugh about to take away abortion rights. I think that sexual assault and abortion bans are two sides of the same coin. It's about taking away women's bodily autonomy. They are both a form of violence against women, and both show a complete disregard for women and our right to control our bodies. And so I just, want to call it out. Now, I'm probably totally out of time, but I want to say something else. So one of my beats for Ms. Magazine is the underground movement about what we're going to do post-Roe. And I just want to say this. Post-Roe is not going to look like pre-Roe because of two reasons: the internet and abortion pills. We did not have abortion pills pre-Roe. Today, over half of abortions are done by medications. There are two medications, and I want you to know this because it's going to be absolutely critical to keeping people alive post-Roe. And I want you to tell your friends, and I want you to spread the word. The first pill is mifepristone. It interrupts progesterone, which maintains a pregnancy, and it causes the pregnancy to begin to end. Okay? The second pill is misoprostol. Misoprostol actually is a treatment for ulcers, but it also causes contractions. So you take these two, and expels the contents of the uterus. You take these two pills 24 hours apart. You have what feels like a heavy period, and the pregnancy is over. They can't keep these out of our hands post-Roe. And there are activists creating organizations to get information about how people can get pills and to create support for people taking pills. There's an organization called Plan C, and the website's plancpills.org, and they have a drop-down menu by state, and you select your state. Let's say it's Texas, and it will tell you exactly how to get abortion pills. What are the reliable websites where you can order abortion pills? There's a provider based in Europe. They have an organization called Aid Access. It's Dr. Rebecca Gompertz. She has mailed 30,000 pills to U.S. people in the last 4 years since she opened it. 30,000 pills. She charges $105, and if you can't pay, she'll give them to you for free. I interviewed her. 1/3 of those 30,000 people have gotten it at a discount rate. And she is there for people in states that ban abortion. She's a clinician, she screens patients, and she mails the pills to you. Now, it takes a little while because it's from outside of the country, but there are also alternatives within the country. And there are also organizations like the M&A Hotline, Miscarriage and Abortion Hotline, which provides support to people self-managing abortion. So people self-sourcing by getting them online, and then medical support. There's also another group called If, When, How, which gives legal support to people self-managing abortion. So these are, they'll help you protect yourself. How do you search online without leaving a trail? So I've gone on way too long. Yes, the resources are on the flyer. They're on the flyer. And so I just want you to spread the word. We have mass incarceration now that we didn't have pre-Roe. So you can be sure those states are going to go after people self-managing abortion. But there's a lot of work about digital security and how you can search online and protect your traps. The Digital Defense Fund is doing that work. And so, this is a workaround. This isn't a solution, but we've got to spread the word to keep people alive. Because abortion pills are safer than Tylenol, and the only reason they're being restricted is because of anti-abortion movement in this country. They're 98% effective, safer than Tylenol, but we don't know about it, and that's because of abortion stigma. So please spread the word. Thank you so much.